Mic checks echo, I'm the sound of the brawl. Canvas creaks, flesh slaps, bodies rise and fall. Steel cage dreams, no escape. All pain, blood stains mixed with the sweat and the chain. Adrenaline surging my veins, spit fire. Crowd chants feeding my soul's desire. Turnbuckles tremble when my wrath collides. Glory's the belt and I'm taking the pride. Boom. The squared circle where legends collide. Boom. No mercy, just a wild ride. Boom. Like flash, fist clash, can't resist. Boom. The squared circle digest. Pyros ignite, shadows dance in the glow. Ringside roar, it's a gladiator show. Chokeholds tighter than the grip of the night. Climbing the ropes to new championship heights. The mental battlefield, no room for doubt. Every move calculated, every scream a shout. The bell tolls louder than a sinner's regret. This is the place where the bold never forget. Boom. The squared circle where legends collide. Boom. No mercy, just a wild ride. Boom. Like flash, fist clash, can't resist. Boom. The squared circle digest. Boom. The squared circle where legends collide. Boom. No mercy, just a wild ride. Boom. Like flash, fist clash, can't resist. Boom. The squared circle digest. Circle Digest!
It is the Memorial Day edition of the Squared Circle Digest. I am Sean Stanley, and as always, I am joined by the great Frankie Fresco, who's already had an eventful day. Frankie, how are you doing, sir?
Happy Memorial Day, sir. I'm up. I'm drinking coffee. We're ready to rock and talk some wrestling.
Yes. Now, if you did not catch our thoughts on Saturday night's main event, go ahead and check out our Rainy Day podcast, 2 Raw for SmackDown. We did do a post show on there. We'll touch a little bit on it here today, but mostly we're going to discuss a little bit of everything that's going on right now currently in the wrestling world. But last night, let's get started, and we will dive into the world of AEW here. Mr. Frankie Fresco, it is Mr. AEW. I'm sorry, I'm behind the scenes working on some stuff here real quick. And unfortunately, because I was working on the wrong stuff, we're going to pull this one up first and just talk SCD now. And now I'll start working on the one that I originally had planned for us for this talk. But last night, it was AEW, Double or Nothing. And, one thing you cannot deny about AEW, Tony Khan, or anything like that, when it comes to pay-per-views, they are usually delivering. And I can tell you right now, last night was no different. If you're a WWE lover and yes, you can complain. Maybe it was a little long. Maybe, whatever. Then there's all these reports that people got stuck outside in the train. They recorded the 7 minutes that it was down. That's why it built up that way, because the train went down for 7 minutes. It wasn't because of the late running of the show. Oh, so I guess technically, yes, it was because of the late running of the show, but it was because the train shut down for 7 minutes. But inside the squared circle, which is what we like to talk about, A++++.
I mean, let's just go ahead and say what a difference of a wrestling show from Saturday to Sunday, man.
Yeah, but it's two different things again.
No,
we can sit here and we can say it all the time.
No.
But it's different. They are all about inside the ring, which is what makes their pay-per-views
a lot of the stories
what it is
have been building up from outside the ring. They've been doing a great job with their storylines. They've been doing
they
finally, you know what they did? They finally ended a show where they didn't have to go and surprise us by bringing in a new signee. They actually created a next storyline for for Darby Allin afterwards. So I was like, wow, look at them. Finally, I mean, with all due respect, but yeah, taking something from WWE. Finally, you did something. Like now you have a matchup that could lead up in between Darby Allin and Kevin Knight because of what Kevin Knight did to him. So look, man, you guys know I am not an AEW homer, but come on, bro. Like maybe one or two matches less would be nice.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's ever going to change with Tony Khan. He loves giving us 10 matches on all these pay-per-views. I think we could have stayed away. We could have had Mina how do you say her name? Mina Shiratawa.
The Owen Hart women's battle, the match there.
I think you could have gotten rid of that one.
I think you could have got rid of also the Bandito Swerve. I know Swerve you want to have on the pay-per-view, but that one to me, the Will Ospreay Samoa Joe is a pay-per-view match. Whether it's
hell yeah,
whether it's a whatever it is, that match had to be there. I also thought the order was a little crazy. You did Samoa Joe and Will Ospreay before you did any of the other ones.
I like the fact that they put the fatal 4-way of the women as the co-main event, pretty much.
Yeah,
I wasn't expecting
you got to make the titles the heavyweight titles need to mean something,
Yeah,
because it was the semi-co because you did the
no, the Stampede was before. Oh, yes,
before?
right. Yeah,
Well,
yes,
Stampede was after.
You're right. It was a semi-code. You're right. Because it was.
But to be honest, I think, man, to be honest, and again, the problem that they had at this show, the New York Athletic Commission would not let them bleed, and would not let them go in the audience due to
and that's fine.
And I think it's still.
It was a great show.
But I think if they could have done that, I believe that should have been the main event.
But here's the thing. I didn't know about that, but Sean, I loved it. I didn't have to.
It was good.
I didn't have to see blood. They didn't have to go indie on us. They did.
Yeah, but I mean, the problem I got is this, and this is the problem I had. The only problem I had with the A+ match of Edge and Christian. Memo saying AEW's trash. I better say it now before he starts sending it over and over and over.
Well, the thing, he didn't even watch it, so he doesn't know what he's missing out. He missed out on. He knows, that whoever says AEW is trash, seeing that show last night, has absolutely no clue about wrestling. Yeah. But go ahead.
No, I was gonna say the only problem I had with the whole thing in the Copeland Christian FTR match was they got the what's he called the bat? What's the name of it? I forgot.
Spike?
Spike. Yes, Spike sticks it in his forehead.
Yes.
Gets him to say I quit. There's not even a scratch.
Well, yeah, because you can't bleed.
No, I know that, but then I wish they would have figured out a different way of doing that, because to me, again, A+ match, A+++ match, whatever, however you want to look at it. That was the only thing, and especially with that being the ending and making him say I quit. Like, I mean, I would have rather you taken a screwdriver and put it in his eye or something to where, or whatever. I honestly thought they were going to do something with Beth when they put the flaming table to where they hold Beth till Edge says, I quit, or sorry, hun, you're going to have to go down with the team, or whatever he said to get out of it. But I thought that was going to happen. It didn't. I thought everything went well. That was my only thing. But again, that was way before I knew that they couldn't have blood. They couldn't go out in the audience and all that stuff. So that would be my only really and I thought all the matches delivered. I liked Mina and Athena. Yeah. I didn't necessarily like it as a pay-per-view match. I thought it was more of a, but again, Athena and Mina always, AEW delivers on pay-per-views. Whether you like the storylines they're running or anything like that, they finished up, to me, a lot of storylines with this pay-per-view. And you can still continue some. I mean, the Edge, Christian, FTR one will probably get some tag teams added to it here in the future. And by the time All In rolls around, that might be a very interesting tag team match if they listen to some of the fans and what they're requesting, I would be very interested to see how that
Woo.
rolled out. I thought the Will Ospreay, I love his new attitude in the ring. It's not the smiley, um, bruv, hey, bruv, hey, I love everybody, hey, hey, hey. No, he's in there. He's the ass kicker again, like when he first came in. And I love that Will Ospreay. It's business, man, and that's what. Look, when you're doing your promos, you want to get out there and you want to do Aussie, oi, 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 whatever. That's your time to be. When you get in the ring, I want to see that Will Ospreay and what they brought last night. I mean, I just, dude, I don't think honestly. Look, I can sit there and complain about the length of the pay per view, but every match was done correctly. Every match to me, I thought was done well. And of course, I never doubt the talent inside the ring. They always deliver, man.
What?
I think there
Check
was
this out. A lot of people in the wrestling world say, "Hey, we always want like those special moments," and we don't get them all the time in WWE. You got it from AEW last night too, because the match between Okada and Takeshita was great, and then all of a sudden you got the return of Kyle Fletcher, who we not had seen in a while because he got hurt, and then a huge turn at the end where he betrays one of his best friends, Takeshita, bro. Nobody was expecting that. Kyle Fletcher turning on Takeshita was a little bit of a surprise for a lot of us. The surprise of Kevin Knight, the fact that Kevin Knight, when they had Darby and they were gonna roll Darby on the stretcher, and then you see Kevin Knight look at Darby Allin and then frog splash him from the top turnbuckle outside. That was amazing. That was, and you know what? For a minute there, dude, I don't know why, but leading up, this is why I'm saying that their stories are getting better. Leading up to this pay-per-view, I had the feeling that Kevin Knight was gonna turn heel. The only thing is that I thought was that he was gonna turn heel on Mike Bailey, because remember, if you saw that Darby versus Mike Bailey, he came out there, he was talking to Mike Bailey and saying, "Yo, you did a great job," and I thought he was gonna betray him right there, but they did a good job. They surprised us by going.
Well, I mean, you knew if you watched any of the programming, you knew the Kevin Knight turn was coming. You just didn't know when.
Yeah,
and I thought they did it well. They did that well. I thought the main event was a great match storytelling between MJF. The only thing I hate, man, is this damn continuous pinning with the headlock. And I get it. It's the MJF Darby Allin thing from way back and this and that. But it's like every pin now has been a headlock takeover into the thing. And it's like, all right, let's be done with it. But I guess in a way, though, it allows it to set up for if Darby wants to come back, it's still there because he's still, But again, I mean, I don't know if you're, look, man, if you're that hard up of a WWE fan and you're not really a wrestling fan, then you can poo-poo all over the AEW Double or Nothing. But if you're a wrestling fan, you're either blind if you don't like it, or you're just you're kidding yourself. You're really a WWE guy. Kevin Abreu says, "I wish AEW pay-per-view start early, like 5 or 6." I do wish that they would go. I mean, I don't understand why 8. If that started at 7, you're getting over at 11:15, 11:30.
Yeah.
And even an hour earlier changes it up, man. It's like, why 8? At least, I mean, even an hour changes a lot there.
Yeah, either you cut 2 matches and just run with 8 matches, or I think what Kevin says is a good idea. Start it at 5 or 6 or even 7. And then if you want to do a dark hour, do the dark hour at 6 or 5. And then, it'll end a little earlier. Because me and Sean were talking. And Sean was like,
Memo, I know you're doing it to make Frankie mad.
Sean was like, man, I forgot how long these are.
Yeah, dude. I was like, and also, man, when they're that good, one match after the other, it gets exhausting, man. I mean, kudos to those fans in there because, dude, I think I would have been burned out, man. And they did get a little low at times, but it was because, again, it was the Mina Athena match, which they popped on the parts they needed to pop on.
Yeah.
But it was a little quiet in between. And the four-way got a little bit, in Moxley at times because, again, the Moxley O'Reilly was a very slow,
that's another
old school, methodical storytelling match about they kept switching reversals of the the submission holds and just trying to top the other. And again, Kyle O'Reilly 2-0 against Moxley, tapping him out. And then at the end, you see the handshake, the respect that Moxley has for them. I'm still not sure what the whole Death Riders thing is anymore. I'm a little lost on
It is a little bit.
what they are. It's like they're the Atlanta Braves of Major League Baseball. They're the unwritten rule police. If they don't respect you, then they're going to hurt you. If you get their respect, then I guess they leave you alone. I'm not.
Well,
not
they
sure
were
where
they
it's
were
going
there.
to go, but
They were Moxley was still out there when Osprey was wrestling, I think, if I'm not mistaken, or he stayed there for a little bit while Osprey was wrestling against Samoa Joe in the crowd. Because remember, Moxley and crew has been training Will Ospreay
training
to the cabinet. And look, man, I agree with you 100%. There was some matches that, I mean, the only ones that I kind of will say, hey, they lost a little bit in my eyes was the Mina and that match. The one hard.
And when I say they lost it wasn't like the crowd was quiet during the match. What I mean was they weren't on every move of the match like they were on others.
Yeah, but
it was
hard.
when they
It's
did
hard
the
to
big
follow.
stuff. When Athena did the big moves, it got the pops. When Mina
yeah.
did her stuff, it got the pop. So when I say it went down, I don't mean like they were just sitting on their hands like, great, it's a wrestling match. No, they didn't do that at all the whole night. That's why I say kudos to them. But there were times where, again, they had to get the rest, man. I mean, if you're there, it started at 7 with the
dark hour.
You're almost 6 hours into wrestling by the time the main event ends.
And like you said, kudos to those fans, bro. They were going in all the way for all those hours, which is funny because when we had the post show of Adrian and Tony, and they were like, oh, that Indiana, Fort Wayne, Indiana. Oh my gosh, hello. That's not a crowd. That is not a hell of a crowd.
It's a WWE crowd. Again, it's two different big
trash crowd. It's a trash crowd.
AEW has the crowd that will hijack your show.
Because
WWE fans do not hijack the show.
Sean, don't say that. Those crowds exist when WWE goes out of the United States. That's what happens. That's what you get.
No, I get the international crowd, but that is the AEW crowd at a Dynamite.
It is.
At a good Dynamite, they will be that type of crowd.
Don't give them the international. Don't disrespect the international crowd of WWE. I respect the international crowd of WWE. They go in too. I like the international crowd. They make as much noise out there.
Them. It's a different level of crowd, though.
But they're loud.
WWE has. Again, I've said it before. WWE has trained the American crowd on how to attend a WWE show.
The WWE has done a horrendous job with the fans, and the fans themselves are no longer wild like during the crazy ass that era. The what do you call it? Attitude era.
Don't disrespect the old WWE fans with your new WWE style.
But look, at the end of the day, they started with a bang. Cope and Christian and FTR with the I Quit match. I loved it. I love the fact that Beth came out. It was really emotional. I'm glad we don't get to see the retirement of Cope and Cage. And then, like you said, you had matches following it. Takeshita, Okada was great. Yep. You Takeshita won, so Okada finally does not have a belt. A little bit shocked. Ever since he came in, he's always had a belt, and now he's beltless. So I wonder if this is a good route for Okada to maybe now challenge maybe for the world belt. Obviously, he's not in.
Okada Moxley might be next as well,
or that could be. And then again, I don't know. I'm not too sure if he's. I don't think he's in the Owen Hart tournament. So
no, it's not. It's Swerve, Will Ospreay. I looked at it to go. It's Jungle Boy, and I'm sorry, not Jungle Boy. Whatever he is now,
Jack
Perry and
Davis.
Mark Davis, the bottom. That's the bottom there. Which they emphasized that match a little bit with Jungle Boy trying to kill Mark Davis.
Yeah, see, look, and we haven't spoken about the Stampede,
Yeah.
but see, those are the nuggets, Sean. Those,
I know.
those
I
are the
know, I
nuggets
know.
that we don't usually see from AEW. That's why this
True,
pay-per-view
very
was
true, very
very
true.
good. I was like,
Very
wow,
true.
these guys are actually putting into effect the fact. I hope. Now again, and maybe it was influenced by Mick Foley because they started with a bang with Mick Foley.
No. This was
Sir, come on.
Tony Khan has said that he kind of taken back the realm on a lot of stuff that he wasn't. And I think, and again, not saying Tony Khan is the end all be all. I'm not saying that. But I believe some people might have been, because even MJF has come out and been like, last year there was a lot of BS going on. The beginning of 2026, which is when, Tony kind of said the end of 25, I'm getting back more into it.
Mm-hmm.
And into 26, I think you're seeing the remnants of that. And again, I'm not saying that TK is here writing all this, but TK gets the ear of Jericho, MVP, Adam Copeland. I'm sure Mick Foley this show. And he probably sends it out to them and saying, hey, what do you think about all this? And then he takes all that input. And again, he might get, I don't like it from Copeland. He might get, I love it from MVP. He might get, it's okay from so-and-so or whatever. And then he takes all of that and then makes it into, something else probably. But again, that's where I think, man, you're seeing a lot of change there because again, and I'm not saying it's the WWE way, but you're seeing the influence of how important the storytelling aspect to investment of the fans plays in this. It's great to go out there and have, 10,000 5-star matches. The problem is once those matches are done, then why should I tune in?
Yes.
Until the next pay-per-view? Why should I watch your Dynamite and Collision until the next pay-per-view when there's no reason to? Because once I watch your pay-per-view, I'll be able to I'll know. Because there was only 2 or 3 matches before that was really the story involved. Whereas this one, again, the 4-way was a kind of a make-believe one, but it was cool that they took all 4 former women's champions and put them in the ring. One a 2-time, one a 3-time, one and that was very cool. That's a story. You don't have to promote all of that for weeks. You can be like, Tekla's going to have the strongest match against 3 other former champions at different eras of AEW. And that's a story within itself. The Owen Hart matches, you don't have to tell a story because the story is they're trying to get to the title. And you had Will Ospreay and Samoa Joe. I mean, I don't understand why Bandito is in there other than just to be like, hey, here's Bandito. Because he is the Ring of Honor champion. So
well, there was some back and forth before.
Oh no, I mean,
came.
Yeah, I mean, there's a back and forth with them, and I think he attacked them at Ring of Honor tapings and things like that. But again, that's more of a made up moniker. Whereas if Swerve took on, and Kevin Knight's not even a good one either because he's a champion now too. It should be people that don't have belts because the whole thing to get this is to get the title shot at All In. That's the big prize of the Owen Hart tournament. And
in a way, you're right because instead of putting Bandito in there, they could have put in somebody else who we haven't seen or hasn't, or you want to at least give him that TV time as well, right? And give him that also. So you make perfect sense. I agree with you. You're right about that.
Swerve would have made a good match with anybody. I mean,
oh yeah.
Now again, Bandito's so good that it adds to it. So I get, that end of it, but I don't understand why they are in the Owen Hart. If you just want that to be a match, then it could be a match.
Yeah.
It just to me doesn't make sense for it to be in the Owen Hart when the main subject of that is to get a title shot at All In. That's what.
Yeah, there's
the main thing to do is, and you're already Ring of Honor champion. Like, what are you?
Yeah, there's other people you could give that spotlight to. I know they've been promoting a little bit Roosh in a couple of the Saturday Night Collisions, and also you have other guys out there, guys that we that they could probably hang. Maybe a Tommaso Ciampa, who's been featured a couple of times, and then also there's guys. Max Caster is another one that's very good. That you could see that could take over and be in that spotlight because, like you said, Bandito is a champion already. in Ring of Honor. So,
Yeah.
but I mean, great match
No,
between
no,
those
I'm
two.
not taking anything away from it. I'm just looking at to me, and again, I get it. There is a reason because again, he could fight for the title too, but it's like, okay, so Bandito's going to be a double champ. It just that again, to me it seems a little far fetched when I look at it psychology wise, and that's the one thing Again, not taking anything away from the pay per view or anything there. Again, this is nitpicking. I mean, this is
It
this
is.
is very nitpicking right now because that pay per view to me just delivered, and it's set up for Wednesday. You got Max, I'm sure, going to have a ceremony. He didn't lose his hair. I doubt Darby is at this Dynamite, but I guarantee you at the next one, this one will probably be Kevin Knight gloating, and probably him turning on
Mike Bailey.
Mike Bailey, and then it'll set up for. Or you know what? Maybe he doesn't turn on Mike Bailey this week. He turns on Mike Bailey next week, which is why Darby rushes the ring to save Mike Bailey and get Kevin Knight out of there.
Oh,
Or he turns on this week and they do a match next week and Kevin Knight tries to injure Bailey and then Darby makes the save somewhere around there.
the other match in the Owen Hart, just looked it up. It's Claudio Castagnoli versus Brody King. That's who's in
And that winner versus Swerve.
Yeah. So you're right, and like you said, you have something to work with when it comes to some of the fights after this match. Like even the FTR, Cage and Cope, there's still something that they could go from there.
Yeah.
Or if they're gonna bring new people into AEW, you could bring that in there as well. You obviously have now Tekla, and I like the fact that Tekla retained the belt because Tekla, they're building her, right. We don't have a Mercedes, we don't have a Tony Storm. Those are two. So I think I like the fact that Tony Khan is letting her, showing her, hey, let's put her in here and let her and make sure that she wins. That way she gets more and more popular because I think she's building up and it's looking good on that side for her, especially since we don't have Tony and Mercedes. And then you could bring one of those two girls, and then all of a sudden you have another storyline that you could bring. And then of course, Sean,
And I think also they did something in the middle of it, the Sheeta Chris Statlander part. Now you put them out. Whereas if you want to have Jamie Hayter, who felt like I could have had it if whatever. Now you could do Hayter versus Thekla, and then Sheeta and Chris Statlander can run around on Dynamite and doing some stuff there, and then Willow with hopefully nothing serious. She can return from her injury. So there's a lot of good things they can do with that women's division.
sorry, I'm drinking a little bit of coffee here.
Oh, that's fine, man.
The other thing, let's just talk about it, man. It was the Stampede, bro. It was 7-on-7. It was wild. And like I said, they didn't have to go into the crowd. They didn't have to bleed. It wasn't. Look, man. I think the best thing they could have done, in my opinion, and hopefully Tony Khan learns from this. I doubt it he will, but not allowing them to bleed, the New York Commission. I think that's the best thing you could have done, man. Tony, I hope you listen to us and other shows. There's no need for blood. This show was one of the best shows I have seen from AEW, and it was amazing without the blood. And that Stampede, 7-on-7.
The problem with AEW is they don't know when to stop the blood.
Yeah, they go to it.
It's a blood every damn match. It's like, bro, sometimes people don't want their kids watching that, man. And I get it. There are people that love that. And look, I don't mind blood in a match if it means something. Like, to me, the FTR, Edge, Christian, they're fighting for their careers. They're fighting for the belts. It's okay to have some blood in there because it's going to have some things. MJF doesn't need blood just because he's fighting for his hair. That's not enough to go get blood. Now it's enough to do the cheating.
Yeah.
Which I love that storytelling. But sometimes I feel like they go overboard on blood in matches, and it's like, why?
Yep.
Like I knew when Darby hit his head on that thing, I was like, oh, Darby's messed up.
Yeah.
I didn't know that he had, because, like, again, you put this on a table on top of a platform, and he comes down and hits his head on the thing. What do you think? Darby weighs probably 175, 180.
Yeah, but Darby, bro, like that's scary, bro. And that was what, like 20 feet up in the air, bro?
Yeah.
That's it. That's like,
And I think what he did was he came down on the base, and it just it just split his head. It cracked his head open.
yeah,
You know, and then when he grabbed it, I was like, oh, did it hit his neck or his head? Then when he got up, I could see the red. And I was like, oh, okay. All right. Well, at least it wasn't his neck, because that could have been very. And then he almost did his neck anyways. But yeah,
was a
you're right.
couple
You're right.
times he
I think, and again, the other thing that I liked about this one was they mixed in a little comedy, a little bit of little stupid stuff here and there,
So good.
just enough to break up the violence.
Yeah, man. When Andrade El Idolo is talking to the girls, he's gonna take a picture. All of a sudden, you got Luchasaurus come out. That was
With
great.
the wig. It looked like the Gremlins. It looked like Stripes when he had the wig on, and I don't know what it was in
good.
Gremlins 1 or 2, but they had the little wig on, and he's like, like that's good
That
stuff,
was
man.
so good, man.
What Bobby Lashley's laying there, and Leo Rush comes up and starts talking crazy to him, and then he moves and he jumps on the Leo from behind, and then they fight out. You got Sutnam, who was that was Mark Davis, I think, in there.
Yes.
And hit Sutnam into the pie or whatever, and then they had little indie guys there to grab and get thrown in the food and all that, and so I just thought in the abdominal stretch, and you got guys all the way down the aisle pulling.
That was
It was good stuff, man.
Jericho and Ricochet with the tennis balls getting shot from the tennis machine.
Yeah, and Jericho forgetting to turn the machine off and almost getting hit with one as he goes for the pin.
That was amazing. That was so good, bro.
What would have happened if Jericho went to make the cover and got hit with the ball right in the head? Like, oh my goodness, man.
And they even teased us with like a 4-screen on the screen for us, that way we could keep
keep up with it. Yeah.
with everything. So it was like they mixed it. They made, and then again, there was no blood. There was no craziness. We didn't need any of that.
Well, there was craziness. A guy tried to get hit by a bus. I mean,
Mark Davis could have possibly died out there. I don't know when he moved out of the way.
What are we talking about here? That's Mark Davis. It's Mark Davis.
You saw Jack Perry come out of the bus, and he's like, "Oh, I don't see anything. Let me just watch." And then all of a sudden, you see Mark Davis back in the ring. I'm like, "Oh, when did this guy come back?" That was funny too. I was like, "Damn."
He's like, nothing good can happen outside the ring. Let me get back to the ringside area.
Yeah, it was so random. Like, you didn't see anything, and then all of a sudden you see, like, even who was it? I think it was Taz, who went ahead and said, "Oh, look, Mark Davis is back." We thought he died.
He's alive.
Yeah, he's alive. So
he's like, he's alive. Good.
So it was just great, man. It was really, really good. If I have to give it a grade, and of course, again, guys, don't think that I am a AEW homer, but I'm not gonna give it an A+. I can never give a show A+ because I think it has to be perfect. And there are some hiccups. Like I said, I think sometimes the show is a little bit too long. Sometimes I feel like maybe they, like you said, Sean, maybe they could have featured other wrestlers instead of Bandito, who was on there and stuff like that. And no offense to Bandito, he could still hang, and that was a great match. Athleticism to the max when Swerve jumped over his shoulders. That was impressive.
When he stood on his shoulders and drive-by, dude.
Jesus Christ, that was impressive. I'm gonna give it a solid A. It's a solid A minus. I'll give it an A- because it just delivered. It was such a relief. It was such a complete different vibe than what I saw on Saturday. It was amazing. When you look at those two shows, and I look, because I remember we were doing the post show, and you told me, and Adrian was like, "Frankie, no, it's what you believe." And I treat any show that WWE gives on a weekend as a premium live event.
Yeah, no.
So you know what? I was happy with AEW,
and it wasn't even good as a regular show to me. I mean, that's what I'll even go there. So. Like, that show on Saturday was straight basura. It was.
When you look at both of them,
it was a show in Fort Wayne, Indiana.
Man.
And we're not giving you our stars on Saturday Night Main Event. Although, if you want to call Becky, and Becky is a star. But again, she was in a 2-minute match. You had Rhea in a 6-woman tag.
But that one made sense, right?
Yes, but you're not showcasing your stars, is what I mean.
Yeah, but she was there, so that's not a bad match.
But again, that's the card you paid to watch. Okay, think about that. That's the card, and it's not like WWE said, "Hey, we're just going to give you two matches on the card." No, they gave you the full card, and if you looked at that card and thought it was going to be, you are a WWE homer.
Don't say their name. If you say their name, Adrian and Tony will show up, please. So
It
yeah, man.
wasn't as good a card. I mean, it wasn't, dude.
I'll
And
get. I'll,
again, I disagree with you about the PLE and all that. But again, even as a show, it wasn't good.
so what do you give AEW Double or Nothing? Your grade.
Double or Nothing's an A. Easy A. Easy A. I mean, it's probably as close to A plus as I'll give.
Yeah, same. Yeah. And I like
mean-
and I thought they nailed it with no blood. And I didn't know that. It wasn't even intentional, but you're
Yeah,
absolutely
no,
right.
no, no. I mean, I didn't like the fact that I thought the first match needed blood. I did. Especially if you stick a damn nail in somebody's head. Like, I mean, again, I don't want to see Spike for a while. You can't do that now, man. You can't do. And then next week on Dynamite, he gets hit in the head with Spike and he's busted wide open. Like, no, you gotta put it back a little bit. Let people forget this because people will forget.
Yeah.
And then bring it back. I mean, that's the only thing.
See, but
It's
you're very detailed because I didn't even that didn't even bother me, to be honest with you. To
it
be honest.
doesn't bother me. It's just I don't understand why you do it. If you know you can't get blood, why are you putting anything in their forehead? Like why are you digging anything in the forehead? Like none of this stuff made sense as far as you can't have blood, right? So why even have the barbed wire?
I like the barbed wire though. I like the barbed wire.
Why? You can't bleed. I mean, it's just like it's
okay.
what-
No,
it's not okay, bro. I mean, even in the movies, if you're getting hit by barbed wire, what happens?
You're gonna get hurt.
You get some packet blood and stuff like that.
But
I mean,
here's the thing, Sean. It's the way you sell it to me. Even though the barbed wire was there, when they were wrapping the barbed wire to the rope, if I'm not mistaken, their hands were like oh, this thing hurts and stuff like that. That was good. Then all of a sudden you see it was Dak,
Cash.
right? Oh, it was
Or no,
Cash.
Cash,
Was it
yeah.
Cash?
Yeah, because he was over the thing going, oh, God, this hurts. This hurts.
He was
And-
selling
and-
it.
Yeah, and then he gets up and there's not even a mark on him, bro.
Yeah, but
Like,
he was selling it.
how did it hurt?
That.
How did it hurt, Frankie?
It was
How did it hurt? Oh.
It hurt him in his chest. Sir.
No.
It hurt him in the chest.
No,
That's
but
what it
again,
was.
if me and you go outside and fall on barbed wire, I'm gonna say more than it hurts.
I mean, I guess you could say that, but look, man, it was good. I mean, we're nitpicking.
No, I'm not
stuff
saying
here.
I'm not saying it wasn't good. What I'm saying though, you know there can't be blood. Why am I bringing glass into the ring? Why am I bringing anything that could cause blood into the ring? You didn't need it. You did the table outside. You did all that stuff. You could have had, whatever you want to do, you could have figured out a different ending is all I'm saying. It didn't take away from the match. I'm not taking away from the match. But what I'm saying, though, is there can't be blood, and you're digging a spiked bat into somebody's head.
I don't know this Sean, because this Sean is actually complaining that he wanted some blood, and the Sean that I always talk to is always saying, "Yo, it was too excessive
I
blood."
say it needs to make sense. And in that case, you're fighting for your career. They tried to end your career. They pile drived your wife. They did everything that they could to get rid of you.
Dude, she took a hell of a blunt.
Outside the ring, she nailed that in the ring. I was like,
I thought she actually hurt herself.
Yeah.
When they did that, 'cause
Dude,
I was like,
I did
holy
too at
shit!
first, like, oh.
Yeah, I was like,
know
I don't know if she held if she was able to put her hand to avoid that steel.
Well, she got it. What she did was she hit it like this, and her head hit her arm.
Okay, so she was able to get that.
Yeah.
Dude, when I saw that, I was like, damn, and it was great.
It was awesome.
I'm
It
not
was
gonna lie.
great.
It was so good.
It was great. No, dude, it was great.
You were like, yeah,
It was
awesome.
great.
It was great.
And what's funny to me in the New York Athletic Association, you can burn somebody, but you can't get a little bit of blood. Like in wrestling, look, I get it in like MMA or whatever and all that, but in wrestling, you can control it.
Yeah.
Like, okay, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna put the bat into his head and just a little bit, at least to show that the bat went in his head. That's it. Darby bled, but again, because it was legit. I mean, it wasn't something that he could go away from.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's just.
Sean,
And again, I agree with you on the whole thing about that. The Stampede didn't need it,
yeah,
but to me, the one match that did need it was that one.
Look, man. When it comes to us and AEW, I think this is the most we've talked about AEW. We're going for almost an hour here talking.
I know.
That's how good it was.
I know. That's why we have no audience.
Yeah, it's a little bit rough. But you guys, you know that you guys, if you watch AEW, please give it a chance, man. It's gotten way
Yeah.
better. And and look, they got a lot of momentum. Right? They got to keep it up. They can keep it up. They could take this all the way. Now they got Forbidden Door coming up in June, so that one should be really good.
Let's also real quick you throw this all into once we can just finish AEW here. MJF said, made a comment that he felt that a lot of the WWE fans might be coming over because they're tired of the WWE ways, TKO ways, however you want to look at it. The numbers have not necessarily backed that up, and I get what the numbers are and all this stuff. I understand numbers don't mean anything. I get that. But I'm telling you now, if you are a WWE fan and you watch Saturday Night Main Event and you went and watched AEW Double or Nothing, if you aren't tuned in this Wednesday to AEW, you're not a wrestling fan.
Here's the other thing.
You're a WWE fan.
Here's another thing you also got to realize. They sold out that event, bro. Last year, they didn't.
It was 15-5, yep.
Yeah. So when you have a crowd that is all of a sudden jumping, like when you have a crowd like that, and you have momentum on your side because everything went well for them on that pay-per-view.
Yeah.
And on top of that, Sean, let's not forget, they kind of went head-to-head with WWE on Saturday and Sunday. So this was a win for AEW, and I agree with you 100%.
Yeah, but they moved Collision to Wednesday.
They did.
So that it didn't go against.
But you want to know something? I wouldn't be surprised if Collision might have done better than.
No, Collision did terrible. By the way, the numbers.
Oh yeah.
They dropped half of the audience after Dynamite went off the air.
Oh, okay.
Because again, Tony Khan needs to make it like a 3-hour show. Instead, he does 2 hours of Dynamite. So Dynamite main event ends, and then they kick off Collision.
No,
people tune out.
Collision on Wednesday was an hour. They didn't go longer than that.
No. It was the last hour or whatever they did.
Yeah.
Because as soon as Dynamite ended, it dropped in half. It was 6:14 for the Dynamite time and 3:40 for the Collision time.
Well, look, here's the other thing you got to also think about here when it comes to the AEW fan and the WWE fan. Going to these shows is a lot cheaper to go at AEW than going to a WWE. So if you start getting invested in AEW, all of a sudden you're going to be like, hey, maybe I could attend to one of these shows. And when you look at the prices, you're going to be like, this is not expensive, because their shows are not expensive. They're reasonable. And here's the other thing that he also did mention, because it was a really good interview with Ariel Helwani. He also said that one of the things that he feels that AEW is successful more than WWE is the fact that WWE has characters, while AEW is bringing you more of
The action.
not the
Wrestling.
action.
Wrestling.
Not the wrestling. It was more of like a real, the natural character. So, like for example, and I kind of see what he was getting with this. So remember back in the day when we watched WWE. Remember what we would always say? You would run into Undertaker outside, and he would have his Undertaker type of personality outside of the ring, outside of WWE walls. You would run into it. If you ran into Hulk Hogan, he was the Hulkster no matter where he was, whether he was in WWE show or whether he was in Florida, just in a mall or something.
Yeah, but that's old school mentality. The new school mentality is not that way.
But that's where MJF was talking about, and MJF is an exception to this, because if you look at MJF, he is an asshole everywhere he's going. He is an asshole completely. We don't get that from like a Roman Reigns. We don't get that from a Solo where he's gonna be doing his thing outside. And again, that was one of the things that he says that MJF said made difference between the WWE characters versus the AEW characters, that they're keeping their persona, their character in play outside of the ring, outside of the AEW world. They're doing it outside, and that's what's making them stand out. Now, do you agree with that? I don't. I agree to a certain extent,
because I watched Roderick Strong and Marina Shafir at Ronda Rousey's thing, and Marina Shafir wasn't Marina Shafir I see on AEW TV.
Well, he could only speak for himself.
No,
He does
but
it.
again,
He does it.
this is where I think he's wrong on this aspect. He makes himself that way,
He does.
which is why fans invest in him.
Yes.
Which is why fans invest in a lot of the WWE characters because they make them larger than life. Maxwell Jacob Friedman is 6 foot, 200-pound, Jewish kid. But when he's in that ring, he becomes MJF the prick.
Mm-hmm.
It's like Shawn Michaels. Michael Hickenbottom is him outside the ring. But when that light clicks on and he becomes Shawn Michaels, that's a character people can invest in. And what it is MJF gets it. There's still some people within AEW and WWE as well. I think some of the newer, people that are coming through don't get it either. It's like you can be different on camera and off camera and it'll work. But when you're on camera, you got to be larger than life. You can't be Sean Stanley 2.0.
Yeah.
You got to be Sean Stanley 150.0 like Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Well, like Darby too, right?
Darby. Exactly. That's why he's now resonating a little bit more because you realize, okay, this guy will do anything and put his body on the line and people start investing in it. I mean, look, I told you this story millions of times. There were two guys I looked at when they brought up AEW the first week, and I said, I will never believe in either one of their characters. And in less than 4 months, I was believing in both of them. And that was Orange Cassidy with his feud with Chris Jericho and Darby Allin doing his feud with Cody Rhodes. It made me believe in those guys because I saw that they weren't just there to go through the moves. They were there to build, and that's what fans invest in the character, which is the person leveled up. And then that's why I think sometimes people have a problem in AEW because a lot of those guys are really just about putting on 5-star matches, which is 100% great for pay-per-views. But it doesn't come across good when you're having to cut promos and then you're having to wrestle on Wednesday night and you're trying to invest in that character and all you see is a guy hit, 6,000 different moves and you're like, okay, great athlete, but I can't invest in the character.
Yeah, there's some highlights also on MJF's interview where here are a couple of the big points that he was talking about in that interview. He singled out Malachi Black, so I'm a little bit
I think that's going to be the feud when he comes back.
So I
90 days, because I wonder at All In, will their 90 days be up? Does he cost MJF the match with Will Ospreay, and then you got MJF and Aleister Black with Will Ospreay defending the AEW title.
And Zelina now can be a contender in there as well. I mean, that if you're at that All In over there in Europe, you're gonna definitely want to go because I think that's gonna be a big.
I think you're gonna get to see New Day. I think or wherever they're gonna be called now, Kofi and Xavier, or Kofi and Apollo Creed, whatever he is now.
Yeah, he can't use Xavier Woods. That's
I think he's going back to Apollo Creed or whatever he was, or whatever his name was on the thing.
He said
Xavier Creed, maybe whatever it was.
He said he said that he said that he's staying loyal to All Elite instead of jumping to WWE, saying he wants to build his own legacy outside of WWE, which is good. I like that. We spoke about this in the post show, on Saturday. I said all it takes, Sean, is for one person from WWE to be pissed at TKO and say, "Yo, I'm jumping ship," and a really good big star like a Roman Reigns. Will that ever happen? Probably not.
No, because they're going to throw money and be like, "Okay, we're."
All right.
And then, here's the thing, though, too, with what you just said, though, MJF is the only one I believe that could make a name for himself outside of AEW.
Darby's making a good case for himself too, though.
What is he doing outside other than the extreme stuff?
Yeah, but when it comes to himself, like look, when we first started,
I mean, MJF is doing mainstream movies, some B movies,
yeah.
whatever.
Well, no,
That
Darby. You don't think Darby could get some movies out of it? I mean, the guy can hang, bro. The
yeah, but
guy.
he's going to be typecasted. I mean, you got MJF doing the son of Adam Sandler, doing a killer, doing different roles. Darby's going to be the stuntman.
It would have to be dark movies, in other
Yeah,
words. But
yeah.
but he's. I think he could get definitely some.
But again,
Something
that's
out
the
there.
part where most people go to WWE for that reason. MJF is the one that doesn't need that machine behind him because he's done it himself.
That is true. That is true. He also took shots at Bret Hart, saying that Bret Hart was no Shawn Michaels and that Shawn Michaels was better overall when it comes to charisma, athleticism, and promos. And when you do think about it, that was the difference between Bret Hart. Bret Hart was amazing in the ring, but when it comes to promos and selling stuff and all that stuff, there was no one better than Shawn Michaels in that era.
Bret Hart was a technical wrestler. And you know what's funny? Back in the day, Bret Hart would have been AEW. Shawn Michaels would have been WWE.
All day. All freaking day. He addressed CM Punk. He said he wasn't surprised Punk is still successful, but still insulted him personally during the interview. He claimed that Nick Khan may have been behind rumors that AEW could lose its TV deal, saying wrestling companies leak stories about each other all the time. What do you think about that?
No, I believe it. I believe it. Yeah, You're always going to put out something out there.
A little shot at Nick Khan out there. And then also what you
It's
mentioned.
really not a shot because it's going to be, you can't prove Nick Khan. What Nick Khan did was he had his crony intern go and call people and tell them, and they'll never get back to Nick Khan, though. So it'll be like 4 or 5 people away from where you can put it to Nick Khan. But yeah, I'm sure somebody up top did that. Yeah.
And then obviously what we just spoke about, saying that some of the fans are becoming frustrated with WWE, and that's why AEW is betting from it. We only time will tell when it comes to that, right?
Yeah.
Let's see
yeah,
how.
I mean,
Let's
and
catch up the gun.
look, AEW's got to keep producing like they're producing right now, or it's all for naught. If they go backwards and go back to what they were 8, 10 months ago,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter what WWE does.
Well, I also feel too. I'm not gonna lie to you. I feel like when you mentioned this a couple weeks ago, the crew, the guys and gals that they have in AEW seem like they're invested on the company. They're not there to just collect a paycheck. They're there to showcase themselves, and I really feel like they're putting in the effort to really stand out and be like, "Hey, man, we're not the third or fourth wrestling company out here. We're the second one, and we want to make a name for ourselves." And I think as long as they do that, the Will Ospreys, the MJFs, all these guys, if they still keep that mentality, sky's the limit for AEW. It could be very good. And I like the fact that there's two. I love having multiple wrestling companies where the wrestlers can, both women and men, can choose where they want to wrestle, and there's more opportunity for everybody to make some money and feed their family. So I'm all for it when it comes to AEW, and I'm really happy for them, bro. I think they did a phenomenal job this past weekend. I was very excited, sir, and we both were, right? We were like, even though
No, it was good.
it was very good. So,
And the other thing too that they've got going for them now is most of the people that are there now want to be there.
exactly.
They've already gone through the re-signing. They've already gone through a contract. You may have a couple guys jump back and forth or whatever that have been with WWE or whatever. But for the most part, all of the quote-unquote AEW guys and gals that, might have wanted to jump ship, that's gone. That's done. So now the team you have is probably the team that'll go to bat with you.
Yeah. Now, since we're already talking about AEW, you have another topic on here, Mick Foley. What do you think about Mick Foley? Do you think this was a good thing for them? And how do you feel that Tony Khan should use Mick Foley?
I think the way they did it last night was great. I think having him in there and being seen, the name recognition, I think he brought importance when they did the whole MJF and Darby thing at the end leading into the pay-per-view. I felt like, the words coming from him had some meaning other than, Renee Paquette, or anybody just kind of doing that. The fact that they did what they did with MJF, the interaction, and Darby coming down for the save, and Mick getting up and kind of giving the pep talk. I think that's what they need to do with him. That is what they need to do with him. And again, and I know it was asked of like Jim Ross, do you think he'll be used to wrestle? And the thing I would say is this. In the right situation, he could be used as an 8-man tag partner or a 6-man tag partner, and he comes in and he does his little thing. But I don't need Mick in the ring. Mick, if anything, what they should make Mick is the commissioner. If they want to go that route and have a commissioner gimmick, Mick Foley making all the decisions for AEW sounds like a good way to go to me.
I agree with 100%. If you want Mick Foley, put him as a general manager. He would be really, really good as a general manager. He's done it before in WWE. Let him do it in AEW. See how it is. The only thing I don't want to see him in the ring. Not even an 8-man tag. Not even anything. No, Mick Foley.
No, but again, in an 8-man, 6-man tag, he never gets in until he does the finish. That's it.
Yeah,
that's it. I don't need him wrestling. I don't need him wrestling. I don't need him taking a bump. I don't need him. Like even last night when I was like, MJF kicked him in the ball. Really, like you couldn't just pie face Mick Foley and kind of like just disrespect him. You kicked him in the like. I don't know, but. Again, it did help elevate. I thought it made more importance the Darby thing, and they kind of referenced it in the match. You know, like Darby fighting, and then he does the bang bang because, you know, Mick Foley told him, you know, and a guy I know, bang bang, and then he got up on the thing and he did his bang bang, and then bust his head wide open, courtesy of Cactus Jack. But yeah, I mean, no, if you're going to use him every week, he needs to be a GM
all day. And here's the other thing. What I don't want AEW to do, please don't do this. Don't give me a situation where we're riding high with Mick Foley and then all of a sudden he disappears and then he eventually leaves. Because that tends to happen on the AEW side. And it hurts, you know. It's disappointing. Like Regal. Regal was one where I know he wanted to leave and go to NXT and all that stuff, but
yeah, to be with his kid, the kid that he likes, not his other kid.
but again, like, you know, we got Regal for a minute and then he just left, and I don't want that to happen with me.
I think what happens is this, and you've seen it on, and I think it's Jim Ross was the one that, and I think it was in this article that I sent to you, or I put on the rundown. Mm-hmm. He says if you look at the way they're handled. Bryan Danielson is usually on the West Coast cards. Taz is on the East Coast cards. And Jim Ross comes in just for the pay-per-views. Like, they only use them guys like that. Like, again, if you use Foley in that way and make him... I know that they already said he's always going to be on the buy-in show and all that, but I think you got to make him more than that, man.
Yeah, same.
Like, if you just bring him in, you know, 4 times or 5 times a year, like... Yeah. Oh, man, I need more Foley in my life. I need to hear him say his stupid, silly stuff and whatever, and then, you know, and let him be a GM, commissioner, whatever you want it to be, but an authority of power.
I agree. I really do feel that should be the route that they should go with him. And let's see, maybe Tony Khan will allow him to say and listen to him and be like, okay, let's try it. There's no harm. If it doesn't work, you just... you know, get rid of it eventually. So yeah. I think at the end of the day, it's a great opportunity. Let's see where they go with this, man. And he mentioned, he said that he came back because he fell in love with wrestling because of AEW. So kind of a nice little shot at WWE.
It was, but did you see what people have been putting on the internet now, though?
No, what have they been?
Because remember the reason he said he couldn't be with WWE anymore?
Yeah, the whole situation with
Trump.
With Trump.
You know who's a big donor for Trump?
Tony Khan?
Shad Khan.
Well, it's not Tony Khan, though.
Oh, yeah, I guess you could separate it that way. Yeah. So, you know, it's just funny. It's like, I get it. But again, the wrestling inside the ring could make people, I mean, again, however you want to do it. But, you know, you got to watch how you label things when you leave things because you don't know where you're going to end up.
That is true. I mean, he dropped The Rock's name out there, and they booed the crap out of him when he dropped The Rock's name out there.
Yep.
So
You can't bring WWE into this.
Nah, and you don't need to.
Especially in those crowds like
Yeah.
that those guys are the sickos. Those are your AEW sickos that went there. And again, the last New York crowd booed a lot of the stuff AEW is doing. This crowd was 100% behind it. So that should tell you there's been a shift.
Yeah.
A little bit of a shift, at least for the people going to the show now, because people used to buy tickets to go to the show to shit on it, basically.
Yeah.
Now they're there, and it seems like the AEW, the beginning tenure. It feels like.
And check this out. Did you see how AEW would show like 20,000 times the widescreen showing the whole the whole crowd because they sold out. So it's like, oh, let's show them those widescreen shots from like left to right. I was like,
wide
damn.
shot.
I was like,
Wide
whoa.
shot of Ospreay in the ring. Wider.
Yeah, they even had dude. Again. I think we had I had this when I went with Adrian and Tony. I said the production in WWE is always better. But if you look at it, they had a over the
They had a
top.
4K. They had a 4K camera on the guys walking in too.
Yes,
That was because it wasn't terrible, but it was like when you went from the 4K coming down and they went to the regular cameras afterwards, it's like,
you did notice.
Oh, you could tell the difference. You could tell the difference.
Still, I like it. I like
it's different.
they're trying it.
It's adding value to the stuff.
And if you look, and you saw when you look at the screen, right? You saw the screen. Now you see WWE is being cheap, so they're not going with high end, pretty out lavished stage setups. They're just doing the screen. AEW now is also AEW has always had the screens there, but they had like 3 different. But they also had the what was it, like a paint? I guess that those are the things that when people are painting. So that's how Darby.
Well, no, anytime there's construction in New York, they're set up along the things you can walk under them, so nothing falls on you. The scaffolding.
Yeah. There you go. So so they use that as well, and that's how Darby was able to climb up to the top and everything. So again, if AEW is smart, if Tony Khan is smart, use that to your advantage. WWE is slacking on that. Now you start picking it up and start making. How good would be if AEW makes a badass stage, like when we used to get from WWE back in the day, when you're like, damn.
Yeah, the problem is you got to be able to logistically move that stuff, and that's the problem. That's why TKO is not doing it with WWE anymore because of that fact. The money it costs to put that stage together is probably half your show.
But that's the problem, Sean. The fans notice it. We notice it, man.
Yeah, but TKO is worried about the bottom line for their shareholders. They don't care about WWE fans. They don't care about UFC fans. They don't care about PBR fans. They care about TKO stockholders and getting them their money. That's it. Yeah. That's where AEW can take advantage of things like that, which is what, WCW did that in a way because nobody really put together that WCW was Time Warner. Everybody was like, oh, WCW is Ted Turner. And Ted Turner's Time Warner. And back then, stocks didn't really do what they do today. So I don't know that it's ever going to change for WWE going forward. It's all about the bottom dollar. So unless they, only run in Saudi where they're making $55 million a show, I don't know that that's going to change.
Well, sir, now that you bring them up, do you think it's time for us to jump ship and talk about that company over there, TKO WWE company that we more than happy love it?
Yeah, because the last AEW topic is kind of disregard now. We already talked about Darby being the champion in the backstage and how they thought and how he became
good run for him.
Respected. Good run.
Yeah.
So yes, now we will turn over to the company that is to the northeast and makes its home in Stamford, Connecticut.
The big
talk
bad
WWE
talk. Oh, now our views are going to increase.
Look at it, already up. Man.
Yeah.
Hey, let's talk about real quick before we get into the arrest thing. Let's talk about there's been one name already returned. We saw that. That was Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
And now there's been 2 or 3 names,
please,
that have been
don't bring back Baron Corbin, please.
been enlisted now and talked about being returned. Baron Corbin being one, and Kaz and Enzo. Enzo and Kaz.
Those are not that bad.
Enzo has been he was spotted at the training facility. That means nothing, by the way, people, because they always bring in anybody who's on good ground with WWE will go in and do a special guest coaching. That could have been all it was, or it could have been, all right, let's see what he's still got and everything there. A lot of people are saying the Baron Corbin position is going to be the monster that Danhausen is resurrecting, is going to end up being Baron Corbin.
I thought he was resurrecting the gingerbread man, bro.
No. I think Baron Corbin is going to be the resurrection. And then, of course, the Beast, Brock Lesnar, returned this week. Frankie, your thoughts on that? The other two are just passing, again, we'll see what happens. Corbin has said no. MLW said he's done with them. But however you want to take it with a grain of salt. Neither of them will talk about it right now. Cass, Big Bill is still with AEW, so that's definitely not happening until he's done with his contract. Yeah. So Brock Lesnar did return. Your thoughts on that, Frankie Fresco?
Well, look, the situation with Brock Lesnar is interesting because there's rumors out there that says that he really did retire. Like, that was a very honest and truthful retirement. But he was playing his cards, sir. He said, they're saying that supposedly he did not want to get beaten by Gunther, and he's going to go out his way unless there's one way or another. If you want me to lose to Gunther eventually, then there's one thing you got to do, and that is money talks. Money talks. That's what it is. So
money.
The same way TKO loves money, Brock Lesnar loves money. And I think what has happened here is that he knew that by him retiring, very honest, very authentic, very, truthful, he was playing his cards. He was like, yo, this is either going to be my last show and you're not going to get Brock Lesnar anymore. Or number two, they're going to call me back. And I'm going to have the leverage. And I'm going to freaking ask for money. And if the money is right, I'll come back. And I think that's what happened. I think that's the reason why we're seeing Brock Lesnar. Now, do I like the fact that they brought him against Obafemi? You have to. Just nobody for Obafemi. They did such a bad job bringing him up and just doing the stupid open challenge crap.
The whole thing was supposed to be Femi and Lesnar from WrestleMania. But when Lesnar retired, it threw everything off.
No, and here's the thing, and that's a good leverage from Brock Lesnar, because you can't force somebody to fulfill their contract if they're retired. That's why. That's all he did. That's why when you go and you say, TKO knocked on Brock's door and said, hey, you got to come and wrestle again because we have a contract saying that that you have to wrestle these matches. No, sir. He retired. So I'm pretty sure there's a way for him saying, look, I'm done. I'm not wrestling. So just void the contract is done. Like, I'm not going to wrestle anymore. But now that they brought him back, I'm pretty sure he had to get a pay raise. And he was like, look, I'm retired. Oh, how are we going to get you to unretire and finish your contract? You got to pay me more. Throw in some bonuses in there. Throw in something to make it enticing for me to come back. And I think that's what happened. And at the end of the day, I don't know how long Brock is going to be in WWE, but I guess it's the right move for WWE. I like the fact that they kept it kind of quiet. It wasn't something that was being talked about before he actually showed up. So that was pretty good. And it did bring a little bit of a suspense for the fans. Nobody was expecting him to come and rip his jeans up. So I give it okay. Okay for Brock to come back. I'm not upset.
As long as you're okaying it, I mean, we're good then, right? I mean, that's all.
I'm okay with it.
That's all we needed was the okay that Lesnar has returned.
I gave it a thumbs up and a thumb down.
Yeah. It's just, I mean, again, I don't know I was trying to look up his contract, and all it is very limited dates. He gets $5 million a year, and it just says very limited dates And again, if this is right, he signed in 24, and it said it was like a 3-year deal. So what I'm thinking is he's got to finish up that contract if he wants to be paid for it, or he's got to give WWE or TKO back the money that they've already given him. So he's going to come back. He's going to take on and do things. I think I believe what I heard you say is that he's going to come back and do it his way. If he doesn't want to lose to Gunther, I'm not going to lose to Gunther. If you want me to lose to Gunther, then this is what's going to have to happen. Because if that deal is up and you want him to lose it to Gunther, if that deal's up at, say, August of 26 before SummerSlam, and you want Gunther to retire Lesnar at SummerSlam, you're going to have to pay Brock Lesnar an appearance fee for that one match. How important is it? And that's where it's going to be very interesting. Yeah, no. I mean, he left his boots and gloves in the ring, but that in wrestling, I mean, it's supposed to mean something, but usually it does not. Mean a lot these days because people do all these retirement angles and different things there. I think it was, as you said, an emotional decision at the time for Lesnar. He was like, okay, you guys going to force my hand? And here you go. Force it. And this is what I'm going to do back to you. And now we're in the situation we're in now. And ultimately, it's going to be interesting to see where his contract ends and what he's doing maybe to get to that finish line, or WWE TKO is willing to do to have that end. Because to me, in a way, if Gunther is not the one to retire Lesnar, everything else has been for naught. The
Especially since
career destroyer and all this stuff.
Especially
it just means nothing if it's it's Cena, it's Styles, which are two great guys. Don't get me wrong, but you got to have like to me, the Lesnar needs to be there. I mean, that is you conquering the beast. I mean, like,
and think about it, Sean. Do you really think Gunther putting to sleep submission on Brock is gonna tolerate that crap? That's hard for me to fucking swallow, dude. That is rough because Brock doesn't. That's like pride right there for Brock, bro. Mm-hmm. He doesn't want to lose that way. I think he'd rather lose like a 1-2-3, in my opinion. But
no, Brock doesn't care. I mean, you saw he lost to Oba. He didn't. It wasn't the fact that he had to lose to Oba that was up. I think the plan, the creative going forward, is more of the problem than him losing to Oba. It was, okay, after Oba, what's next? We don't know. Yeah. Well, then why am I losing to him then? If we don't know, what again, it goes back to the whole thing where, and again, Stone Cold said he was wrong for doing this when he did it, but it was when Stone Cold was nearing the end, and it was like, you're going to take on Brock Lesnar and a King of the Ring on Raw with no buildup. And he's like, no, I'm not. That makes no money for me. I'm out. And it does great for your show. That does great for your ratings, but it does nothing for Stone Cold. And he picked up the old quote was, he picked up the ball and went home. And I think that's what happened here. But in this day and age, Lesnar has more pull because of the way everything is than Stone Cold had with that time with Vince. Because, again, his time was coming to an end because of injuries and stuff. It wasn't, the Brock Lesnar can show up and change ratings in a heartbeat.
And also, they did a horrendous job with Obafemi. Let's just keep it real.
Because
they don't have anybody for him.
Yeah.
Besides Brock. That's it.
Well, I think what the problem was going to be for Brock, and again, I don't know any of this, but this is what I'm thinking. Okay, you lose the Oba at WWE. You come back, you lose the Oba again at Backlash. You go on a tear, and then you lose to Gunther, and you retire. So I'm going to go 0-3 against competition in WWE after I've been the conqueror, the beast, the ruler, and now you're just putting me out the pasture?
Yeah.
So I think that's probably where some of this resonated from. I'm guessing. Again, I don't know any of this to be true or anything. So, but
the other thing you gotta also realize, Sean, is that I don't think, in my opinion, I don't think he loses to Oba in Italy. I don't think he will. I think
No, but that might have been what changed. That might have been part of the change. Like, look, I don't mind losing to him at there, but I need to at least beat him once. And then you do a third one, and Oba could win then. He beats me 2 out of 3. But he can't just beat me, then I beat up Scrubs, and then Gunther retires me. Like, that makes no sense to the Brock Lesnar character.
Absolutely not.
So if he goes and then he beats Oba this time, and then they do a third match to end it, and Oba beats him there.
Yeah.
And if Gunther's the champion, then Lesnar could say, "Hey, I want a final shot of the championship. If you win, you win. If you win, a career versus title. You win, I'm out. If I win, I'm the new champion." And then at least there's stakes.
Yeah, yeah.
It's not just, and at least that way you play it that way for Lesnar, and then you can do whatever you want to do at that point.
Yeah, because you have Clash in Italy coming next, and then you have Night of Champions is after that, and then after there's another this Saturday night main event right
But
before
the Night of the
SummerSlam.
Champions, I believe, is in Riyadh too, right? So there's 2 international
Yes.
back-to-back.
Yes, they're both in
pay-per-views.
Riyadh. Yeah. Well, no. Well, you have the Clash in Italy. Night of Champions is in Riyadh, and then so it was just those because the SummerSlam is in Minnesota, and the Saturday night main event is in Madison Square Garden in New York, right before SummerSlam. So, the only one that they have going right now to Riyadh is the Night of Champions, at least for now, heading into before we get to SummerSlam. Is there any other show that is over there? I don't think they've announced any other shows over there until possibly WrestleMania of next year.
Where's Night of Champions at?
Night of Champions is in Riyadh. That's Riyadh is that one, and then you got the next Riyadh one would be WrestleMania.
Oh, no, I know that. But this one's in Italy. Then Night of Champions is in Riyadh. So that's 2 straight international.
Yes.
And then what's after that one? What's after Night of Champions?
Then you have a Saturday night main event, which is on July the 18th. That one's in Madison Square Garden in New York. And then August the 2nd.
That's during Fan Fest weekend, so everybody will be there. That's going to be an interesting card to see if they can bounce back and what they do with this card, because it is during Fan Fest, which Fanatics is a big sponsor for them. Very interesting to see how they work this.
And then you got August the 1st and the 2nd, which is in Minnesota, Brock Lesnar town. So, Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Oh, man, would he lose there?
That's probably a reason why he
That'd
sold
be
the
the reason.
TKO and said, go fly a kite. That's probably why he told him, go fly a kite. I'm not losing at home.
Where's Survivor Series?
So let me read what we got next. After SummerSlam, we got Money in the Bank, which is in New Orleans. They have a WrestlePalooza, apparently, maybe, possibly. I don't see Survivor Series. They haven't announced it where it is at yet. So the last one that they announced was Money in the Bank, which is in New Orleans. And then it says WWE WrestlePalooza not yet confirmed, but it's assumed that it's going to be for summer or fall of 2026. And then they have another Saturday night main event, but they haven't announced the date for that one either. So, yeah, that's kind of where we stand.
Okay. All right. We'll see. We'll see where that goes.
That makes sense why he told him to go fly a kite. He's like, no way am I going to lose in my hometown. F you. Yeah. F you guys. Yeah. You got to pay me. I'll take the L. Yeah, pay me, bro. Money is bigger than anything else. So I have no problem. And think about it, Sean. AJ, John Cena. Where was John Cena when John Cena lost to Gunther? What was that? That wasn't in John Cena's hometown, right? No, it wasn't.
No, it was in New York, wasn't it?
I think it was in New York. And AJ, when he lost to Gunther, where it wasn't in AJ's town in Atlanta. No, it wasn't. It wasn't in Atlanta either. So
they're in Atlanta 2 weeks later, which is why they didn't do AJ the day after he lost. It was the week after.
Yeah,
they did the AJ Styles.
So dumb. So dumb. That was dumb. But hey, that's TKO for you.
All right, let's move on to another story that this one's a little bit interesting. Ludwig Kaiser. He has been arrested, or he was arrested. He's out now thanks to his buddy Gunther. Walter, bailed him out.
Damn.
So here he goes. This is the allegations on the police report.
Okay. Talk to me.
All right. Where is the police report? Let me make sure I get this right here. Hold on. This is from the arrest affidavit. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Kaiser and a woman were aggressively kissing in the elevator. The victim asked them to have some manners. Kaiser allegedly punched the victim multiple times, pushed him to the ground, threatened further violence. Police observed a fresh scratch on the back of the victim's head, redness consistent with a recent physical altercation. And then Sports Illustrated came out and said surveillance footage matching the victim's account. Now, this is on the affidavit, the arresting affidavit. Kaiser pleaded not guilty, and then he was granted a $1,000 bond and allowed to travel, which is why he was at the AAA. There was talk that they were going to cancel the AAA event that they had for El Grande Americano, but that was not the case. He got everything handled that he needed to do. Here's kind of the date of the timeline of events. April 23rd is the alleged altercation occurs in the elevator of Kaiser's building. May 19th, Kaiser learns of the warrant while working for AAA in Mexico. May 20th at 2:37 p.m., Kaiser turns himself in to Orange County authorities and is booked. May 20th, later that day, released on a $1,000 bond reportedly posted by close friend Gunther, Walter Hahn. May 21st and 22nd, affidavits and police reports become public, revealing detailed allegations. May 22nd, court grants Kaiser permission to travel internationally for WWE and AAA obligations.
Yep.
Then there were conflicting stories and commentary that came out. This was from Raj Giri. He reported a different version, claiming the neighbor threatened to call ICE on Kaiser's girlfriend, who is AAA's ring announcer, Andrea Bazzardi.
Did she get fired?
Yeah, she did. Yep. That's sparking the confrontation. This version claims Kaiser did not throw punches. And then JBL was, I guess, asked about it. And he stated he believed both sides of the story are questionable, calling the situation bullshit on both sides. Says the alternate accounts are not confirmed and contradict the official police report, which includes physical evidence and surveillance footage. The latest status is the case is ongoing. Not guilty plea has been filed. Travel was approved. No suspension or public discipline from WWE yet. Actually, no mention of it from WWE as of yet. More details expected as court proceedings continue. Frankie Fresco, your thoughts on this whole situation?
All right, so this is a tough one because I kind of want to believe Luther Kaiser. I really do. I really do feel that I wouldn't be surprised if that person did say, hey, supposedly show some respect before I call ICE on that B, right? And if that did happen, and again, the footage won't hear the sound, right?
I don't think you hear the sound. I don't know. Yeah, they didn't say. They just say they could see the action.
Yeah.
They didn't really say they could hear what was going on. So.
Yeah. So if the guy did say that, I put myself in his situation. If I have my girl and some guy says that, I'm going to go after him and probably punch the crap out of him. God forbid it was my mom in that elevator. Obviously, I'm not making out with her or anything like that. But if I'm there and talking in Spanish, let's just say, or something like that, and somebody says that to me or my mom, oh, we're going to scrap. Because at the end of the day, man, that's disrespectful. And I'm Hispanic. I'm Latino. So I value where I came from, you know? So I find that disrespectful. And if that is true, again, there's no reports confirming that is exactly what happened. So, but if that really did happen, then I support Luther Kaiser 100% on kicking that guy's ass. That's just me. Now, if that isn't the version, it was the other version where, you know, he was just making out with his girl and it was a little bit too much. I mean, at the end of the day, Sean, like, dude, like, whoever he beat up or whoever that guy was who was there, that guy's an a-hole because like who gives a damn? Mind your own business. I don't care. They're not having sex in the damn place. Like who cares? Like I did I ever tell you the story of what happened to me in the Florida Keys? Did I ever tell you this story?
Is that the story where they were making out and they rolled right over you on the beach?
No,
No,
no.
In your Speedos,
Do
you
you
said?
do you want to hear
Yeah,
the
let me hear it.
PG
Let me hear it.
the
Let me
PG
hear the
version of it?
PG. Let me hear the PG version of you
Okay.
and the keys in your speedo. Yes.
Oh, Jesus Christ. No Speedos. Frankie Fresco never wears Speedos. All right. It's Fantasy Fest. If you guys don't know what Fantasy Fest is in the Keys, in Key West, it's a lot of people go out there butt booty naked and paint their bodies. So you get a lot of crazy people. It's a lot of people from different ages. You get young people and you get older people. It has diminished a little bit. It's mostly now the older folks doing it. But that was big back in the day, and I think it still is. I think if I'm not mistaken, it's during October. So, my friends, I used to work down in the Florida Keys. I worked in Key West for like about 2 years, and while I was down there, I'll never forget. My friends came into town. They were crashing in my place, and I was working. So I told them, "Hey, you guys go, and then I'll run into you guys. I'll catch you up when I'm done working." So I finished work and I at that time there was no Uber, there was no Lyft, there was just taxis. So I grabbed it, went over there, hung out with them. I wasn't painted, I wasn't naked. Let me just clarify that. Make sure you guys know I wasn't one of the people who's butt booty naked, painted and stuff
Well,
like that. I'm not
I'm being
Sean.
told you're the mayor of FanFest in the Keys right now. That's what's been reported.
I am not the mayor. I will say this: I did see some crazy stuff. If you guys know who Ron Jeremy is, right? Ron Jeremy. I'll never forget. I went to the bathroom, and there was a line, women, going into the bathroom, and and I was like, man, usually there is always a line for women, but it seems kind of long. Like, what's going on here? And as I'm going to the male, because here's the women, and on the across from it is the guys, and I look inside, because a girl was coming out. Ron Jeremy was in the women's bathroom, and he was banging each one of them before they went and took a piss. So that's how crazy it was back in the day, over there in the Keys. Anyways, I diverted. I go.
That wasn't the crazy part of the story.
No, that was it. So all of a sudden, I'm like, look, man, I'm tired. I told my friends, I was like, look, I'm falling asleep because obviously I had worked and I had drank with them, and it was the young Frankie, the Frankie that still parties. I'm not Memo. I don't party like Memo because Memo is a hardcore party. He was asking me to go out last night and all that stuff. I was like, Memo, bro, I got a DJ this morning. Anyways, I'm diverting again. I call the taxi. I get into the taxi. The taxi guy goes to me. He's like, look, man, I have to pick up more people. Because over there, I guess he wanted to do more than one. I was like, yeah, it's fine, whatever. You got to make your money, right? So he had one person in the front, a passenger seat. He had me in the back. He goes and he picks up a couple, Sean. I'll never forget this, bro. I'm tired. I'm a little bit drunk. And then I see the girl and the guy making out hardcore once they come in. And I'm just, I feel so awkward because I'm like this. I'm like, what is going on here? Like, I'm like, at half asleep, half awake, but I could tell. And then all of a sudden, I see his hand go somewhere down south, and I start hearing the girl moan. And this is happening literally right next to me. And again, I mean, look, I get some bizarre things. I mean, I got shitted on a couple of months ago at the beginning of the year in an air flight. So you remember my flight, right? You remember that?
Yeah, you've had some shitty days, bro.
So it just continues. Like, it's all my life I've always run into some really, really bad situations or some awkward situations, and and the guy in the front passenger, he's passed the hell out. And the taxi man, I see him driving, and he's literally looking back because he wants to see what's going on
He's
back
skilled.
there.
He knows how it works.
And I'm looking at the guy. I'm like, yo, just hurry up, bro. Go drop these people off, bro. They're like literally there. I mean, I was surprised.
That guy's like, no, I'm going to drop you off, buddy.
I was expecting this guy to probably pull down his pants and start like banging her right next to me. I was like, Jesus Christ. I would have been like, holy crap. And then what would have happened if the guy and the girl were like, hey, Frankie, do you want to join? I'm half drunk, half awake. I don't know. And at that time I was a crazy Frankie. So I don't know. So Look, I didn't mind their business. I didn't bother them. I let them do their thing. I just looked to the side. So that's why I said if that guy really did see Luther Kaiser going ahead and doing that to Andrea, then just mind your business. I mean, they weren't harming me or anything. I left them alone. I was like, okay, it was awkward, but I left them alone. It's not my business unless it some way somehow would have affected me. I will say this: I did get
Did you give him some tips? Like, hey, buddy, you're not hitting the right spot.
the girl.
Come on louder if you do this.
No, because the girl was he was hitting the right spot. That girl was making loud noises. She was moaning all day. And the crazy thing is that then look, man. Again, everybody's different. The girl even decided to put her leg on my knee. Like she's like, oh, she actually asked though. She was like, hey, and I was like, yeah. And she's like, you don't mind if I put my leg up here for a second? And I was like, no, I mean, enjoy.
That was your invite. That was the invite, Frankie.
I'm not gonna go and do a 3-way between her, and their guy. No, I don't cross swords. I don't cross swords, sir. I'm
They
just
must have
letting you know.
the
I don't
mayor.
cross swords.
Fanfest.
That was something.
Like, we got royalty in this taxi.
That was some
Yes,
intense night. I can tell you that much. And of course, that's what happened. So yeah, man. So if that really did happen, like that guy's an asshole because like just let him be. Like, but you, Sean, what do you think? Was that the appropriate thing? Version 1 or version 2 for Luthic?
I mean, here's the problem, man. And this is where I go back to them. I mean, look, if I can easily sit here and say, unfortunately, the situation Ludwig's in as a celebrity, as a WWE star, you got to bite the bullet, man. But personally, I would have swung on him too. But the problem is, you get guys doing this to instigate because they know or they think you're this big star, and this is an easy payday because now I'm going to sue you too, and you're going to settle. So whatever I sue you for, I'm going to get something. So it turns into more of a calculated risk by, I believe, the gentleman, that if I ruffle his feathers enough and he swings on me, at least I get a lawsuit out of it, and then he'll want to settle because he's not going to want to drag through the mud. And you know, and again, that's a problem where you almost have to, unfortunately, in this day and time, you have to turn the other cheek, man. Would I want to? Hell no. Hell no. And again, I don't know what was said, but unfortunately, you're gonna have to look like a chump.
Yeah, it sucks. It sucks that.
And that's the again, think about this. Think about it being like, and again, I'm using this one because I know they make a lot of money. It's Cody and Brandy in there. And something said about Brandy. Cody hauls off and nails him. What do you think is the situation? You know what I'm saying? Like unfortunately, you have to think about that before your ego and your machismo kicks in because you have a lot to lose. You have a lot to lose. Ludwig Kaiser, look, I get it. He's not great, but dude, he's got the world by the balls in Mexico right now. And now you're about to lose all of that because you punched a guy for saying he's going to call ice. Like, it sucks. Trust me, I get it. It sucks. But you've got to somehow know what this really is. This is some jackass betting on that he's going to get you to punch him so he can get some money out of the deal. That's it. I mean, why else say anything? As you said, what were they? I mean, unless they were rolling across him in the elevator and whatever else.
I mean, the girl next to me put her leg on my knee. So
yeah,
like,
I mean,
and I still didn't say anything.
They're making out loudly. They're doing whatever. Bro, they're in their building.
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
Enjoy
again,
it.
to me, the only reason you do it is because you're like, oh, I hope I get a rise and I can get some kind of money out of it. That, to me, is the only reason you do
I agree. Yeah, you're right about that.
And unfortunately, Kaiser took the bait.
Question here. Does he lose? And does he get fired?
I don't think he I don't think he gets the And again, the way it is labeled, it's minor battery. So if anything, it's going to be a fine or whatever. I don't think there's no winning for him either way, because even if he's found not guilty there, if he swung a punch and hit the guy, which the affidavit and apparently the footage shows, he could still sue him for bodily harm or whatever. And then you're gonna settle that out for whatever, 10, 20,000. So either way, he's gonna end up losing something. I don't think he loses his job, but I do think they're going to have to look at, like, bro, we got all our eggs in your basket in Mexico. You cannot do this again. Because think about this. If that guy fell and hit his head and went to the hospital or whatever, and it's more than minor battery, he's not there for the mask versus mask match, which they've been working on for 6 months.
Damn, that would be bad.
Because you decided to swing on this guy because he said he was going to call ICE.
Ciampa is tough, man.
It is, but he didn't put his hands on you.
No,
If he would have grabbed you and said, I'm going to call ICE on your girl, at least then you could be like, he put his hands on me first. I defended myself. And again, I'm just going off, to me, the police report has to be pretty accurate to what they saw. I mean, they're not just going to sit there and say Kaiser swung if Kaiser never swung. It's on a police report. It's not coming from, Joe Schmo. The police saw the video footage, so they saw Kaiser swing. They said multiple times. So, I mean, there was something there. And again, is this guy going to come into court and be like, yes, I said I was going to call ICE? He could say that, because ultimately, just because I tell you I'm going to call ICE doesn't mean I should get beat up.
Again, man, I just, like, if he said something like that to my mom, I would fight back. I would say something. It might tick me off. And if you pick me on a wrong day.
You could say something, Frankie. And then when he touches you, now you got authority. You say something back until he touches you. Once he touches you, then it's self-defense. You touched me first, I acted. But to just start punching the crap out of him for him saying, I'm going to call ICE, like, you can't defend that, man. As much as I want to, you can't just punch people for just saying stuff, even as stupid and silly and ignorant as it is. Unfortunately, that's what the greatest thing about this country is, and the worst thing about this country is. Everyone has freedom of speech.
Yeah, man, and in a way, unfortunately, he kind of brought it to himself, because if he was doing all that, I mean, again, you're doing it I know it's their building and all that stuff, but still.
I mean, they could have waited until they got to the room.
Or they could have waited until the guy left.
Until the guy got off. Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, I'm not saying that neither side, like what JBL's, both sides is BS. Like, the fact, one, that you're maybe possibly, again, I'm not a big PDA guy, so during the elevator, you leave yourself open to what happened. That guy could have not said anything. Once he said something, he left himself open to what could happen. And
look, I'm going to tell you something.
Punches, leaves himself open to whatever is going to happen.
I'll reveal a little bit. I've done what Kaiser have done, but I didn't do it with somebody in the elevator outside of my girl. So I waited until everybody left, and then it was just me and her. And there you go. I started, we had a good time. But you got to be able to, it was a mistake. You have to be smarter. You have to be smarter, bro.
That's the problem. Ultimately, that's the situation. Especially if the guy didn't touch him first. I mean, I get it. It's one of the most ignorant things you can say, but unfortunately, all he did was say it. Yeah. If he would have touched him and pointed and been like, that bitch is, I'm calling ICE on that bitch, and poking him and everything else, now, dude, again, you get one or two punches in and you got to stop. You can't just go raging blind and start beating the crap out of the guy either, because now you're setting yourself up for more.
Yeah,
but you could throw one or two punches as self-defense.
Yeah.
But, I mean, that's the problem. That's the issue.
So do you think he's going to lose, or do you think he's going to get fired?
No, I don't think he gets fired, but I think it might hurt him a little bit in the eyes of the company as is this the guy we want to put all our eggs in his basket when he could just be gone tomorrow.
Yeah, he not control himself. Yeah.
Yeah. That is the problem now. Like if you're going to be outside in the, I mean, I look back to when like when they said Shawn Michaels was so immature, and I watched the Shawn Michaels Heartbreak Kid becoming Shawn Michaels or whatever the other night. Dude went to a bar, I believe it was in San Diego or somewhere, and there's a whole bunch of Marines there. And he started talking to the Marine's wife.
Yeah,
And the next thing you know, I think it was 1-2-3 Kid and Davey Boy Smith, I think, were the two that were with him. All of a sudden, you got all these Marines around him just beating the crap out of him. Because again, it's like, what do you not know? Like, especially as a wrestler, people are gonna. That was the one thing. I mean, I think we talked about this before. When you were a bad guy and you came into an area and you were at a bar and somebody came up to you and tested you, you had to fight.
Yeah.
You had to defend that you were this tough guy.
Yeah.
That's why you shouldn't be out as a bad guy in public, because then you can get tested. Good guys, everybody wants to be with. Bad guys, they want to see really how tough you really are. Are you as tough inside those ropes as you say you are?
That's a good point.
That's what happens. You have to be able to, especially in this day and time, you have to be the better man as hard as it is, unless you're provoked. Again, especially with footage. There's video footage. Like if he's poking you or touching you and you swing twice, now there's a thing saying he touched you first. Obviously, in this thing, it's just he said words, and then, at least by the police report that they say, he just started swinging. That's a bad look. But again, it's simple battery, which I don't think it would be like a fine and stuff. But I think it does put a little bit of a what do we do with him going forward? Because I mean, it's going to be tough, man.
I think he wins. And I think they sit him down and they tell him, hey, man, we're going to give you another shot. And if you pull this crap again, if you can't control your ego or whatever, your temper, we're going to let you go. So I think he gets a strike. He gets a slap in the hand.
At this point, move him to Mexico, man. Get him a freaking villa down there and dude, he's like the king of Mexico right now with that gimmick. I mean,
all day. All right, we got
that's it.
No, we got the Danhausen topic.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about Danhausen. Jeez, I looked through everything real quick and I missed it. Yeah, so Danhausen now he's got a agency that's repping him for outside jobs to WWE. So my thought was just because I know we talked about it before. What do you think, man, with this Danhausen thing? And then I know MJF was asked about him on the, I believe it was Ariel Helwani, and he said he couldn't be happier. He said he knew he could do this, and again, once he got a machine behind him, it adds to what he can do. And, that's the interesting thing. So your thoughts on that, Danhausen, and maybe outside of WWE. We've seen him on ESPN now quite a few times, especially with Stephen A. and the Knicks stuff now.
Look,
the Knicks have lost since he did the uncursing, right? So.
Look, man, I don't know if this is they gotta investigate that because, dude, if he's actually cursed the Cleveland Cavaliers and they haven't won a single basketball game, they're if they don't win tonight, the Knicks are in the finals. They haven't been in the finals since back in the day with John Starks and Patrick Ewing and all those guys. So, hey, man, the machine is feeding us Danhausen, and it's impressive. And the guy is taking full advantage of it, and him making every single appearance on ESPN. Then on top of that, cursing and actually coming into fruition, that situation, that's actually interesting. That's actually impressive because now, I mean, I'm willing to hire him and curse the whole AFC our division. That way the Dolphins could win the division on our side, bro.
The day he cursed them, the Knicks were down by 21 in the third quarter. And it looked like it was all like, uh-oh. and they came back and won. Like, I mean, that's legit, bro. That's legit.
So
Chad said he's a fan housing.
if you are able to curse people and it actually does actually work, or I don't know, maybe they're rigging it. Maybe ESPN is rigging it that way. It actually, I mean, they could. I don't know, but
Wait a minute. Are you saying TKO got 2 NBA teams and bought them off so that they could prove that Danhausen curses work?
yeah, I mean, Sean, if he goes, if obviously the Knicks are going to go to the finals, it looks like. Unless some way somehow Cleveland comes back. Man, if Cleveland comes back out of a 3-0, never happened in NBA history in the Eastern Conference Final, that would be hilarious. But if he, I wonder if Danhausen is going to take the risk and if it's, it might be OKC, it might be San Antonio, to crush one of those 2 teams because obviously the West is going to be a lot the favorite to win it. So that would be interesting. I'm interested to see that. I actually want the Knicks to win the East. I don't want them to win the championship because I'm a Heat fan, bro. I'm not a Knicks fan, so screw them.
We don't have to worry about championship for a while, so we're good.
Yeah, but good for Danhausen. Impressive, and hey, man, I think at the end of the day, like, good for him. He's making money, and he's making himself surprisingly, Sean. He is making himself to the likes of a Roman Reigns, the likes of a Brock Lesnar.
He was the number 3 merch seller in WrestleMania weekend, bro.
The likes
CM
of
Punk, Cody Rhodes, Danhausen. Think about that, bro.
the lights of a Cody Rhodes, the lights of an R-Truth, where your show, this guy is so big that TKO can't fire you, bro. Like, you call the shots, because if they fire you, people are going to give you backlash on it. Or, number 2, they're going to hate you for it, and you're going to be like, damn. Like, now I'm not going to tune into WWE because one of my favorites is gone. I'm going to go check him out wherever he goes. So, yeah. He's elevating to that very quickly.
Again, I look at this and I go, what did they see that Tony Khan didn't see, though?
Well, Tony Khan did it, and I'm sorry if you hear a dog barking. It's my parents'
Oh, it is
dog.
Fantastic, man.
He keeps barking.
He's a special guest.
I know you guys can hear him because I can hear him. I'm like, oh my god, stop barking.
He's
but
fantastic.
He's
dogs are always welcome.
I'm like muting myself. I don't know if you know that.
No, dude, let go, man.
Because I don't want the dog. He is a small Chihuahua.
Yeah, dude, that's what
I
I
can
can
Yorkie.
tell by the bark.
He's a Yorkie.
I can tell by the bark. He sounds like my dog, Skippy.
Yeah, he's such a crazy little dog. Yeah, I mean, Sean, I don't know. I mean, this is an interesting situation here that we're running into, in my opinion.
You know, I wonder though, because, and again, I get it. WWE has more strings that they can give to Danhausen, but I mean, they took him off of TV for a long time. Like, they didn't know what to do with him. And you see the stupid stuff that WWE, I mean, they got him locked in a closet with this little fake light thing that he's trying to resurrect with Gingerbread Man or Baron Corbin or whatever else. He's shorting the lights in the arena. Like, I mean, just silly stuff that breaks up the monotony of a regular show works. And they had it, and they used it, I thought, pretty good for a while. And then they mixed them in with it was before the conglomeration, but like with those guys, OC and some of those guys there, and then poof, he was gone.
Well, remember, AEW doesn't cater too much to the kids. So TKO looked the bigger picture and said, hey, man, this is a money grab for us. We could make this and the kids are going to love it. Funny thing is that not only you're getting that love from the kids, you're getting that love from the grown folks, from us guys, too. Like the
TK
guys...
said, F them kids.
So Tony Khan, I think that's where he dropped the ball, because he realized, hey, you know what? I can. Like, screw the kids. And again, you have to.
I just think that he doesn't want to take AEW that path, because that changes what AEW is.
Yeah, it's not for the kids. Let's keep it real. And here's the other thing you also got to realize.
Unless you're in New York, where you can't do blood or anything.
Here's the other thing you also got to realize. I wonder how much Danhausen had say when. Oh my God, there he is barking again. How much say as far as in ring work? because a lot of us have you noticed that he has been wrestling and he wrestled a lot in AEW. So, like, is it how much is AEW gonna tell him, hey, we don't want you to work in the ring, or WWE gonna tell him, hey, and he's probably pushing to get in ring work. That could be something that maybe affected the whole situation with AEW.
It might have been.
as
He
well.
might have been pushing more in-ring work at AEW than in WWE, because WWE just be like, no, you sit your ass over there, you do your stuff for the kids and the adults that like you, and that's your lane. You stay in your lane. Roman, Cody, CM Punk, they got the ring lane. Okay, we'll throw you in there every once in a while when he needs you to team with Minniehausen and take on the Miz and Kit Wilson and stuff like that. But your lane is to love the kids, like Trick.
Yeah,
Trick love
100%.
the kids.
100%, man. 100%.
Yeah, but I'm very interested to see what they do, because they're talking about like movies, roles, things. I just look at Danhausen and I say, it's got to be Danhausen, right? It can't be the guy that plays Danhausen getting the roles. It's got to be Danhausen getting the roles. What kind of roles could Danhausen get?
That is a good question. That I don't know about all
Now,
that.
I could see him on some like sitcoms or shows like that, and then doing a special appearance or something and doing some stupid stuff. But yeah, you know what they should do? They should have him record a botch show of highlights called "You Got Cursed," and it's like they're going up to the top rope and falling off, like what happened with who was that the other night?
So Ruka?
No. Oh no, it was last night on the free call and on the buy-in show.
I didn't watch the whole buy-in.
They did the pyramid power bomb thing.
Okay.
And QT Marshall was up on the top rope. And these jackasses got coconut water because the match was sponsored by coconut water and started hitting everybody. So the coconut water went flying everywhere on the turnbuckle of the ropes. So QT Marshall went to jump off the top rope, and it slipped, and then boop, fell outside.
Oh, I gotta watch that. I didn't watch
Yeah.
that. I didn't see that.
Yeah,
I didn't see that.
Yeah, that's what it was. And he
No
fell to the
w-
outside, and I was like, oh.
No wonder you were so tired. You watched the buy-in hour.
Yeah,
too.
man, I watched the buy-in. Oh,
Jesus.
dude, you don't understand. I watched the Indianapolis 500. Then I got a little bit of break. Then I started watching the Coca-Cola 600. I watched Inter Miami, and then at the same time had AEW going. Like
You were
it was
busy.
a big time day yesterday. I mean,
You're
10
busy.
goals in the Inter Miami game, buddy. 6 by us. Thank
Talk
goodness.
about not knowing what defense is, huh?
Yeah.
I was watching that game. I was watching with my
Well,
dad.
I think Philadelphia Union was like, kick it out in front of the old guys and we'll beat them.
Well, so bad. I got into a huge argument with my dad because I think it was like the second goal where Luis Suarez is in the middle, and my dad is like, "Oh, that's a great goal by Luis Suarez." I said, "Dad, they left him wide open in the middle. It was literally him and the goalie. Like it was so bad. He got it from the chest, and the only guy around him was another Inter Miami guy right next to him. I'm like, that's horrendous defense.
Yeah,
I
it was
played
terrible.
defense, but yeah, man. So yeah, we'll see what happens. I like the idea though. Or you know what way he could do? He could do a podcast.
Yeah. I don't know the voice. Supposedly he's got to drink like a lot of water, and
Yeah.
I think you told me that, right?
Yeah.
You told
He
me
has
that,
problems.
right?
Yeah, if you guys watch Chris Van Fleet when he his interview about maybe about a year or 2 years ago, he's without his face painting, so you'll see a different side from him because he's not painted. And then at the same time, you will see him talk about his throat situation where he has to literally take it easy because it kills his throat. And yeah, that's what happened with him.
Yeah, and then he also, Chris Van Fleet came out today. I don't know if you saw his post. I know Anthony, I think, shared it with us. Every match on Clash in Italy is a rematch.
That TKO, baby. That TKO.
They're bringing back the VKM method.
And no, Tony did not share that. I did, sir. I
Did you?
submitted
Oh,
that.
oh,
I
did
was the one who
Tony?
submitted.
Oh, so then Tony responded under what it looked
Yeah,
like.
Tony
I
responded
thought
on
Tony
it.
had shared it and
I
put the
shared
thing
it.
underneath it. Oh, okay. All right, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
because if you look
I
at
apologize.
the matches,
I should have known Mr. AEW was posting it.
I saw that and I was like, oh my god, look at this crap. Why am I not surprised? Talk about great storytelling, right? It's like terrible. You see this all panning out again, where it's all the
Yeah,
same
but
guys
Frankie,
all over
we
again.
can't really talk a lot here, buddy. We can't talk, bro. You can't talk.
I could talk
Do
a
you know how
little
many
bit.
rematches were last night?
I could talk a little bit. Just a
You know
little
how many
bit.
rematches were last night?
Just a little bit.
How many rematches were last night?
Sean, there was different stipulation in those rematches.
Oh,
okay?
yes. So that makes it different.
Yeah.
All right.
What stipulations in the Brock Obafemi? Nothing. The Jay Cargill Rhea, nothing. Soul and Becky, nothing. I'll let the Jacob Fatu Roman Reigns because there's a stipulation now, and then the Cody and Gunther we didn't. What stipulations on that one? Nothing. So I'll let that one. I'll let the Roman one slide, but the other ones, and we didn't talk about Saturday Night Main Event recap,
Wasn't Darby and MJF for the heavyweight title last time?
but it was you
Wasn't
get bald,
FTR versus Edge and Christian for the tag team title?
but it was retirement. See, that's right there. Yeah,
I love it. There you
Stipulation.
go, baby. There you go.
Stipulations.
You're right. You got me. All right, Frankie, let them know where they can get you, man.
Okay, before I know we gotta go, but before we do that, I do want to say one thing about Saturday Night Main Event. I saw the replay. Ruka, when she fell and she hit Jessica Carr, her right foot hit the put her foot on the rope and it slipped. That's why it was so bad. So it wasn't so much the spacing between Ruka and Jessica Carr and Becky. It was that literally Ruka slipped and sucked. The other thing I wanted to say too, Sean, that first match between the 3-on-3 with the girls, it wasn't that bad. You guys say that it was slow. I thought it was pretty good. And I will say this. I like the fact that you kind of got the Jay Cargill, Charlotte Flair, kind of like one-on-one, kind of teasing us a little bit for maybe down the line in the future. You also got Charlotte and Rhea Ripley going ahead and giving respect to each other. Then you got Alexa Bliss jumping in there and them all three of them holding together and all that stuff. That was cool as well.
And I did like the fact they let B-Fab and Michin kind of look like they belong for once.
Yeah, so I
thought they gave them enough in there to like they look legitimate instead of just being, oh, they're getting thrown around again and beat up and everything else. They look like legitimate, wrestlers now.
And I look back at the Nia Jax and Lash Legend against obviously Paige and Brie Bella. The promo in the back sucked. They were so bad in the promo in the back. That I do agree. I looked at it again. I was like, damn, it was really bad. And I did see what you mentioned, that the very first move from Brie Bella, and she misses that drop kick. It was so bad. I was like, wow. But she had her moment. She had her. I think you know what?
We have our vices on certain things. My vice is Brie Bella. I'll tell you now. I cannot. She could go out there and do a 5-star match, and I'd still give her 2.5.
Look, I watched it, and I didn't think it was so bad. I thought it was okay. I really wasn't. I really now understand why I had told Adrian and you, hey, I really like the women's 3-on-3 match, because I did like a lot of their spots. It was really good.
It wasn't bad. It just felt at certain times like they were playing it safe.
Well,
That's why I say when they felt slow was when they were trying to be safe, and that's when I was like,
Here's the only part that I kind of thought kind of sucked. Which was, I don't know if it was that Jay Cargill was hesitant and didn't realize it, or maybe she just said, you know what, screw it, let her tag. It was Charlotte Flair going to go tag, I think, Rhea Ripley.
And she's waiting to come in.
And she's in the ring, she's just waited.
She put her foot on there, and then she waited, and then Charlotte goes to reach, so then she comes in the ring, but then Charlotte's still selling, and she's like, I'm waiting.
So I don't know if it was because Charlotte Flair, she felt that Charlotte Flair wardrobe malfunction was getting worse, because it was bad at that time. So maybe that's why she said, "Oh, you know what? Let me let her get the tag, because I don't want her booty all out."
As flat as it is any booty coming out?
Yeah, but you still see something. Unfortunately, I know it's flat, but you still see something. So I don't know if that was her. I don't know if that was her either looking out and being smart about it and be like, you know what? Let me let her tag, or maybe she just was really clumsy and said, whatever. I don't get it. I'm lost. Let's just let her tag. I don't know. I'm leaning more towards the second one, but I'm just saying that's what I thought. So
yeah, no, I just thought the timing wasn't there. Because again, what you do is And also, it was BFAB or Mishin. One of them, they tagged too quick. You're supposed to let the baby get there,
point.
jump for the tag, and then you tag your partner so that it's kind of like the timing. But yeah, they did. They kind of set Jade up on that one. I think they were tired of taking it and beating up, and they're like, "Here, Jade, you go do some stuff."
And going back to the Sol Ruka with Becky Lynch. Remember I told you that she got on the turnbuckle and she flipped and she did that move? She landed on her knees. That's why that looked so awkward. Because I remember I think it was Adrian who said, "Oh no, she does that all the time." No, she landed on her knees and apparently she got hurt. And I think there's rumor on the street is that I think it was Ethan Page who got hurt. I think it's Ethan and Sol Ruka are the ones that got hurt out of that Saturday night main event. I know Sol Ruka is one of them, but Ethan.
Well, she landed on her tippy toes and then fell forward to her knees and then tried to stand up.
Yeah.
And do it. And yeah, so I mean, it's just you can't over rotate that though. You've got to that's the problem with like all these people that got all these crazy moves that you're doing flips into. Once you leave your fleet, you don't know where. And the other problem is, like I said, I was like, Becky could have helped her, but Becky would have caught the brunt of the blow because Becky would have had to come up at the same time she's launching in. And then, I mean, you're going to eat that clothesline. You got to make a business decision. So
yeah,
Becky made the business decision for her. So.
She's like, yeah, I'm not taking that. I'm not taking that.
I got my daughter. I'm taking home now.
But like I told you, man, I thought it was. I think we were a little bit too harsh. I think it was a little bit too harsh. I think we were a little bit too harsh. That's just my opinion. I feel like that Becky Sol Ruka was terrible. I will say that. I think the women was not that bad. The 3-on-3, and then the Brie and Paige.
But my whole problem is like if you're gonna give us that, give us a good main event. I'm not saying Street Profits and Vision wasn't a good match.
They should have given Penta that the main event with Ethan.
I mean, in that case, yeah, you could have done that. You could have started Penta, and at least you could have vice versa. Put it around. But like I just felt like it was like it's almost like what the old WWE days was. This is what we're gonna give you, and you're gonna like it. No, I don't have to like it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like you're giving us a Saturday night main event. You don't even have. And I get Rhea's a star, Jade's a star, Charlotte's a star, but dude, there's nothing. They're the first match, and then you don't even have Seth come out to help the Street Profits, or even freaking Joe Hendry. You don't even have anything like that. It's
take a point. Yeah,
like you do nothing. You're just like, here you go. This is your.
You got Braun. You're gonna got Braun Breaker.
Okay, what's up, AB?
What's up, Joe?
Hope all's going good with you, my friend.
The boy.
Yep. Check out his podcast.
The broadcast. I mean, you got Braun Breaker, sir. You got Braun Breaker.
Again, take it. You're gonna like it. That's what you got. What you got to do now is give everybody the deets on where to get you.
Everybody could catch me at Frankie
the mayor
Fresco.
of Fan Fest down in Key West, right here, ladies and gentlemen.
If you guys didn't listen to that story, go back. It was very interesting. It was one of my very awkward moments. Like I told you, I get shit on in planes. I get horny people in taxis, and it's just crazy. That's why they call me Frankie Fresco. And I'm not in the middle of anything. I'm not in it. I'm just in the middle of it. So you can catch me at Frankie Fresco on all social media platforms, on X, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. And then, of course, you guys could catch us here on the Squared Circle Digest. Don't forget to follow that man. Damn, I'm terrible with this. That man over there. That man over there.
First try. Look at that. Look at that.
Well, you're on that side. You got me on the... Oh, see, I should have done that.
How about that, huh?
Should have done that. Jesus, I should have just got like that. Follow
Mayor
that
Fan Fest, ladies and gentlemen. He's here all week.
Follow him as well. Shout out to AEW, baby. We did it. Hell of a show. Teaching WWE how to do it right.
Oh, boy. I don't know all about that, but you can follow me at SS_Sports Talk. You can get me at Stanley Media House, everywhere else on social media, Stanley Media House Network on YouTube. And the remainder of your Memorial Day, please have a safe and happy Memorial Day. And remember what it's about. All those that have given the ultimate sacrifice so that we can have the freedoms to do what we want to do here in the good old US of A. Frankie Fresco, thank you for your time today, sir. Go enjoy the fam, the dog, and in October, enjoy Fan Fest.
No, I'm not going.
All right? As only you can do, buddy, in the back of a taxi.
Jesus Christ. I should have never said that story. All right. See you later, guys.
In the words of the great Gordon Soley, so long from the sun. Shine. State.
The Squad Circle Digest!